If all the raindrops are lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be. Standing outside with the mouth open wide. If all... Subject English is broken up under listening and understanding, reading and viewing, phonics and shade reading. Now, under the listening and the understanding, what I've used the story initially, and they had to listen very carefully to the content of the story. Under the soil, and said, "Wake up, little ones, wake up, it is almost spring." But the little seeds only turned over and snugged deeper into the bed and did not... Now, number one, they've listened to it for enjoyment. They've listened to grasp the attention, and obviously for the content of the story. They then had to listen to the questions asked to them. They had to understand the questions, and they had to be able to answer to give the correct answers on the various questions, and that is under listening and understanding. Bruce, do you use water? Do we all use water at home? Yeah. Right, now tell me, what do you do with the water?
To mop the floor.
And what else?
To clean the house.
Right.
We drink water. We use water for our plants.
Are we the only creatures that use water? For me to be able to go straight to a poem about seeds, it would be very much I cannot teach it in isolation. Put up your hand. Stem starts with which sound? What would be the work of the stem?
The stem takes the water to each and every leaf.
Okay. The plant, like we came from a seed. And where were we before? We were in mommy's womb, right? We were in mommy and we were baby. We grew up in the womb. We grow bigger until it was time for us to be born. Okay? Now, same like the plant. He also had to be inside a womb. And what do we call that? The plant's womb.
A seed.
It's a little seed. I need to let them understand, where does seeds come from? Where does seeds come from? Plants. And why is it important in our body, in our lives? Why is it important to human beings? What kind of seeds are these, did we say? Bruce?
Pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds. Okay? What kind of seeds are these, Mushira?
Pawpaw seeds.
When that seed starts to grow, what does the seed do then?
They germinate.
Okay? Listen. Listen. The little plant in the heart of a seed, buried deep, so deep, a dear little plant lays fast asleep. "Wake," says the sunshine, "and creep to the light. Wake," says the voice of the raindrops bright. The little plant heard and rose to see what a wonderful outside world can be. Now, open your eyes. What do you call this kind of story that you write in this form?
A poem.
A poem, right? And the person that wrote the poem, what do we call that person?
The poet.
The poet. What is this poem about?
The little plant.
And what is that plant doing inside that seed? What is that plant doing inside that seed? Many children, they learn through listening, the visual, the auditory. Now, some of the children also learn through their body. They need to feel, to be understood, to understand. That is the time when I gave them the opportunity to act it out. Says the sunshine, and creep to the light. Wake, says the voice of the raindrops bright. The little plant heard and rose to see what a wonderful outside world. I gave them opportunity. I read it and they read it after me. And creep to the light. And creep to the light. Wait. Then I granted opportunity again for them to read with me. Very deep. And then afterwards I gave them again class group reading, which is the shade. So if I do not pick up, I can pick it up from my peer when they read it. A full outside world can be. And then later I gave opportunity for individual reading. So it was the different stages of shade reading which I went through. Mishak, what is that sound? Ziyad. E. With the phonics, I've used the vowels which they had covered. Those ones, what do we call those sounds? Ow. Vowel sounds. And why are the vowel sounds so important? Why are they so important?
If there's no vowel sound in a word, then that word is not a word.
I've used the double sounds which we've covered. This one? E. And I've used the blends which we have covered. And they had to recall what are blends. That one. What are the function of the blends? They had to recall how do we make blends, how do we get blends. That blends are made up of two different consonants. Blends. Why do we call them the blends?
Because the one is brr and the other one is, the one is a b and the other one is a r. It makes brr.
So that is prior knowledge which they're now using to make new words. In this poem, now I want them to realize those sounds, they must be able to identify and recognize it in a different context. That's the time when I told them, go and show me where is that word. Can. Do you see where can is? And for the child to be able to do that, he must by now recognize some of his sounds. They had to design a border pattern around the poem, which they loved for the day. From the poem, as you went through, you see everybody got a different inspiration from the lesson during the day. Some made use of the flowers, some made use of the plants. You do not learn in isolation. Learning takes place from one subject to a next subject, but it's not in isolation. The child needs to see that the learning is part of a holistic learning. So the ultimate aim is to teach them and to let them learn holistically.